This is now the fourth step of this tutorial where the user will enter his OTP, he might ask a resend and the sign-in process. Now there are certain prerequisites. Let us have a look at the prerequisites also. You will need to understand and recall this chapter of my ASP.NET Core course, authentication and authorization and the sign-in, return URL and redirect. This chapter, this tutorial, you will have to go through this. Or if you do not want to go through this, you can learn as you walk with me, because learning can also be done by going through the practical steps. This is also a good approach if you want to follow it that way. And let me now explain what we are going to cover in this tutorial. Now if you remember, in the last tutorial we completed the sign-in page where the user was asked to enter his phone number and he clicked on this get OTP. When he clicked on this get OTP, an entry was made in the table of voter where the OTP was stored, phone number, OTP and his expiry time. And after making these entries, the user was redirected to the enter OTP page. This page was not completed the last time. So this page, it receives phone number. It receives phone number from this page. This phone number is sent to this page and it is shown here OTP sent to this phone as this. This is the OTP we have fixed for tutorial purposes and the expiry time is also mentioned. The user will enter his OTP. We will make a comparison of this phone and this OTP in this table. If the comparison succeeds, then we will take him to the index page where question is shown. If the comparison fails, we will say fails and ask him to resend the OTP. So primarily we are going to complete this part of the project today, and let us now open Visual Studio to have a look at what we are going to cover. So I will open the Solution Explorer, and in the last tutorial, just a recap, in this getotp.cshtml we were at this point, and let us scroll to the end. It is at this point that we asked the user to we redirected the user to enter OTP page and sent the phone number as a route parameter. This is where we left the last time, and now it is time to complete the enter OTP page, and I will double click it and show to you how to complete it. So this is the form where we are having enter OTP. This is the heading, and this is OTP sent to model.input.phone. This is a bind property on the backing class, and we'll come to it in a moment. The OTP and the expiry time. After this, we have a form that will be posted. This form, it contains an input for the OTP. The user has to enter the OTP, the corresponding label and a validator. And this is another input. This is hidden. This stores the phone number that was sent from the previous page. This phone is required for comparison of OTP against the original database, the voter table where we stored the phone number and stored the OTP. This is stored as a hidden because we need it for comparison purposes. And soon next, let us move next. Here we have, this is an anchor link. It is for resending the OTP. It sends a message, click below to get OTP again. The user is taken back to the get OTP page, and he's asked to enter the OTP again, and his phone number is sent, so that on the get OTP page his phone number, whatever, it is already pre-filled. You can run this project and you can verify this part also. And now let us come to the backing class, the enter OTP .cshtml.cs file. Let us examine this file in detail. This is the file class enter OTP model, project context and a logger. They are obtained in this constructor through dependency injection. This is the project context, this is the logger, and they are cached here. And after this, we have a bind property for this bind property is for the form. The input model is used. This is a class that I have added in the end. I have put this class here. This is the input model class. It stores OTP and it stores phone number. So both these properties, they are a part of the form. This was a hidden part and this was a text box part. And now let us again come back to this bind property part. So this is the bind property, and in the onGet method the user receives the phone number. He receives the phone number from the previous page where he was given this get OTP. This page sends this phone number. If there is no phone number, send the user back, otherwise store it in the binding property. This will be sent to the form and it will be brought back through the hidden field. And next let us see the onPost method. This is the method that executes when the user posts the form. If there is some problem, validation errors, and this is the voter. Voter is extracted from the voters database on the base of the primary key phone number. This phone number, if V is null, it should not be null because the entry should exist. If it is null somehow, we will say log error, some unexpected issue. So this is very rare that it is going to occur, but if it occurs, we are redirecting the user to the get OTP page and say phone was invalid, etc. And next this is the V that is been extracted from the database, this voter on the basis of this phone. And here if the OTP in the database it equals the OTP entered by the user, if it does not equal, or if the now time is more than the OTP expiry, we add a model error, invalid or expired OTP, retry or cancel and return page. So this will cause the validation error to be shown on the page so that the user can decide accordingly. And now you might be wondering about this exclamation. I have written this is for not operator, but I have written v dot OTP, again an exclamation. This might be confusing to some users, but you will have to refer C# for null forgiving operator. Go through this documentation, or I will explain in brief. What this means is that we are telling the compiler that OTP will not be null because it is a nullable property. If we do not write this, the compiler will issue a warning, nothing else. We are just avoiding that warning by telling the compiler that we are sure that OTP will not be null. And why are we sure? Because we ourselves made an entry for the OTP in the database. So that is why we have said v dot OTP, and we are sure that it is not null. You can see that OTP is a nullable string, and it is therefore that this warning is required. And next, it is as usual, we are creating a claim on the basis of the phone number, claims identity. This is claims identity we created, and then we create an authorization cookie. It expires in 20 minutes, is persistent. We make it remember so that the user can vote again within 20 minutes without getting OTP again. And then the last part is sign in async, and a trace is left, user has signed in, and we redirect him to the index page. So this is what we have done today. The index page is still empty, but if you remember so far, whenever we entered the index page, because of authorize attribute on this page, we were thrown to the get OTP page. But now in this case, we are redirected and we will be shown the index page, although it is not complete so far. So let us now run the project to verify that the things work. Our server has started, environment is development, we are listening on this port, HTTP secure not supported. So now let us open the browser. We tried to open the home page. You can see I will again try to open the home page and we are taken to the sign in page because we are not yet authenticated. I will enter a phone number and click get OTP. OTP sent expires in 1 minute. OTP is 1234 and click on the first of all I will show validation sign in. OTP is invalid retry and 1234, or if you click on resend, then you can see this phone number is already filled. Get OTP, and now I will enter 1234 and click on sign in. Now the moment I sign in, I am back to the hello voting and I can show you the cookie is already created. So this is the local host and you can see that anti-forgery and these ASPNET core cookies, these all authentication cookies, they have been created. And if we close this and try to come back, we are directly taken to the voting page. So this is how we verify that our project is working so far. You can obtain the source code from the attached downloads and compare your own project. So I will now close it and thank you.